On May 6, 2010, at 2:42 p.m., the world's most powerful financial market simply broke. In just a matter of minutes, trillions of dollars in value evaporated from the global economy. It wasn't a slow-motion panic or a result of bad news. It was a digital collapse so fast that by the time human traders even realized what was happening, it was already over. This was the 2010 flash crash, a phenomenon so new and terrifying, it forced us to rethink everything we knew about how money moves. To understand this event, you need to understand the mood of the market. At that time, the world was still recovering from a major financial crisis. On top of that, fears of a Greek debt crisis were making everyone nervous. For years, the Greek government had been spending more than it earned, borrowing a lot of money to cover the shortfall. This made investors worry about a domino effect across Europe. It was this tension that caused the Dow Jones to already drop by more than 300 points that day, even before the real chaos began. So how do we measure this chaos? We use a point system. Imagine a secret basket that measures the performance of 30 of America's biggest companies. Its total performance is represented by a number of points. Normal movements generally fluctuate between 200 to 300 points. On that day, the basket was at 10,460 points, and then in an instant, it plummeted by more than 500 points, a drop 5 times larger than a normal day's movement. The real problem began at 2:32 p.m. At that exact moment, a large trading algorithm designed to sell a massive number of futures contracts began its work. This wasn't just any program. This was a high-frequency trading algorithm, or HFT. It was so advanced it could execute thousands of trades in less than a single second. That's why they call it high-frequency trading. This single large sell order acted as a trigger. Other HFT algorithms, which were designed to react to even the smallest market movements, instantly detected it. And this started a chain reaction. Algorithm A began to sell, which prompted even faster ratio. Algorithms B and C to join in. But because the pace of selling was so incredibly fast, the buying algorithms, the ones that are supposed to stabilize the market, got scared. Following their programming, they automatically pulled all of their buy orders in a split second. With buyers suddenly gone, the financial market became an empty room. There was nothing to hold the stock prices up, so they began to free fall. In just 4 minutes, the Dow Jones plunged almost 600 points. This was a truly abnormal and terrifying drop. It wasn't caused by human panic. It was caused by the unemotional logic of machines interacting with each other, creating a destruction that was once unimaginable. The market was in a state of free fall, but the computers, in their pure cold logic, had one fail-safe left. It wasn't human intervention, but an automatic one, the circuit breaker. Though the system at the time was slow and imperfect, designed mostly to halt the entire index, not single stocks, it kicked in just enough to pause the sheer insanity. It was the market hitting the emergency brake. This sudden halt gave the system a critical moment to breathe. And when trading tentatively resumed, the same algorithms that caused the crash now saw a new, unbelievable reality. Stocks were trading at ridiculously low prices. Stocks for giant companies like Procter & Gamble had briefly traded for literal pennies. For the algorithms, this wasn't a tragedy. It was a perfect, irresistible opportunity. Their logic, once again, dictated the action. Buy. The robots rushed back into the market, not with fear, but with aggressive efficiency, snapping up assets at fire sale prices. Just as quickly as the market had fallen in that 4-minute panic, it reversed, recovering almost all its losses in the following minutes. The entire trillion-dollar drama was over in less than 20 minutes. The computers caused the chaos, and the computers fixed it. The immediate crisis was over, but the damage was done, and the fundamental confidence in the market was shattered. It took the combined forces of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, months, not days, not weeks, but months, to piece together the digital wreckage of those terrifying 20 minutes. Their investigation was less like a police procedural and more like digital archaeology. The first challenge was simply tracking the sheer volume of trades. They had to sift through petabytes of trading data to identify which systems had failed and why. This process eventually led them to identify the initial trigger, the single massive sell order for futures contracts placed by the Kansas-based firm. But the regulatory bodies concluded the true culprit was not the firm or their algorithm alone. The actual villain was the structure of the automated market itself. The core flaw was the extreme speed of high-frequency trading, HFT, combined with its reliance on algorithms that were programmed for self-preservation. The investigation confirmed that the market hadn't simply failed. It had simply followed the unemotional, self-serving logic of the machines. The logic dictated that in a moment of extreme volatility, the safest action was to vanish from the market. This exposed a terrifying fragility built right into the system's core. The crash proved that the pursuit of maximum efficiency had accidentally created maximum instability. It revealed a horrifying truth. We had automated the markets without first automating human common sense. The solution was to introduce human rules back into the machine's world. The market instituted the limit up, limit down, LULD rule, ensuring that trading on any single stock would instantly halt if its price moved too far too fast. This was a direct admission. The speed of the code was too great, and the market needed a digital handbrake. The flash crash of 2010 became the ultimate cautionary tale, proving that a financial system run by algorithms is only as stable as the human rules programmed into it. The flash crash exposed a terrifying truth. Human intuition had been replaced by algorithmic fragility. We had built a beautiful, efficient system, but we forgot to program in common sense. In the aftermath, regulations changed dramatically. The slow, ineffective circuit breakers were replaced by the limit up, limit down rule, which ensures trading on any single stock is instantly halted if its price moves too much. Oversight of HFT firms became much tighter. The 2010 flash crash was more than a technical glitch. It was a terrifying preview of our future. It showed us that when machines communicate only with each other, they can create a logic that is perfectly sound to them, but devastating to us. It was the first time an economic crisis was caused not by debt or war or panic, but by a line of code moving too fast for the world to keep up. The flash crash of 2010 became the ultimate cautionary tale. It was a direct admission. The speed of the code was too great, and the market needed a digital handbrake. The solution was the limit up, limit down, LULD rule, ensuring that trading on any single stock would instantly halt if its price moved too far too fast. This was the human world imposing control back onto the machines. But here is the terrifying truth, the unlearned lesson that brings us to the present day. We are still running systems that are too fast for us to control. The traditional markets solved their problem with more control. But a new form of finance, born from the very same digital DNA, has rejected control entirely: cryptocurrency. The decentralized market, built on the promise of freedom from authority, lacks the very safety nets that saved the Dow Jones in 2010. There is no central regulator, no single entity to implement the LULD rule. When panic strikes in the crypto world, there is no giant red button to hit. The same algorithmic volatility we saw on Wall Street is amplified exponentially here. The 2010 flash crash was a warning. It showed us that when machines communicate only with each other, they can create a logic that is perfectly sound to them, but devastating to us. And today, that logic is running unchecked on decentralized exchanges around the globe. The code has learned its lessons, but have we? In our next episode, we dive into the algorithmic chaos of decentralized finance, the crypto flash crash, why your wallet is never truly safe. Click here to watch, and don't forget to like and subscribe.